one of my hobbies, you know, my days off and free time is messing with small engine equipment, you know. I've got a real job and stuff like that, but, you know, I like tearing things apart and putting them back together again. So I sold a lawnmower to this guy the other day, and he gave me a call back, and he says, you know what, I'm going to throw away my old one. Do you want it? And I says, do I want it? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. So he gave me this one over here. It's a Craftsman Eager 1. It's a walk-behind push mower, but, you know, it's got the self-propelled feature. It's a good-selling, you know, lawnmower from Craftsman. Pretty reliable. They have a lot of different models. So as you can see, it's a front-wheel drive, 22-inch cut, power gear drive. And one of the complaints that this guy, you know, bought my lawnmower was that his wasn't working. And he says that, you know, he had a gas leak over here. And basically the gas leak was just basically the clip over here. The clip over here wasn't attached right. So, you know, I just attached it. It doesn't leak anymore. I opened up the carburetor. It was pretty clean. And air filter is okay. You know, governor's all right. But he said that the front drive didn't work. So we're going to start it right up and see what's up with it, okay? So we start off with giving this primer button a couple of pumps. I like to do 3 or 4 of them, you know, see if it starts up. Gauge the brake handle and give it a pull. Oh. Ooh, almost. Well, as you can see, the engine started up with a couple pulls, not bad, right? So we know that's all good. But then we engaged this, the handle to try to get the front power gear to move. But you saw it spun a little bit when it was under no weight, and then spun a little bit. But then once you put weight on it, it stopped, and then it didn't engage anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this top cover over here and see what's up. So we're going to open this up. Just make sure you get the right, you know, bolt to get it in there. I'm going to try to do this real quick so you don't sit around watching me take a screw off all day. Alright. Pops up easily. Alright, so looks like the belt is a little loose. Alright. A little rusty. Looks thin in some areas, so it's definitely seen its better days for sure. Let me go check the internet and see what size this is. Maybe I have an extra spare. So I checked the Craftsman site on this particular model. It's a 917.377540 Craftsman walk behind self-propelled mower. So I checked the Craftsman site, and it says that it has a part number. Now the part number I did some research on. It's a 3/8 by 32 inch V-belt. I actually have one that's in pretty good condition. I think it's a 32. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to try to find out. So how are we going to remove this belt? It looks like you can't move it from up here because it's attached to the crankshaft on the bottom. So we'll lift this up and take a look underneath, and there's a plastic shroud that's covering the belt, and it looks like that this part over here goes inside. So it looks like the only other way to get it off is to remove the blade and the assembly just to get the cover off. That's a lot of trouble, but we'll give it a whirl. So I've got the lawnmower propped up on its side. I didn't want to tip it all the way over, so I used my daughter's Cinderella stool there. One thing you got to do before you're messing with the underneath carriage of the lawnmower is that you absolutely have to make sure it doesn't start while you're messing with it. So what you do is you pull out the spark plug, so there's absolutely no possibility of, you know, you getting your arm chopped off. Anyway, so like we said, we got to take this blade off just to get to the shroud that covers the V-belt so that we can change it. It's got a 14mm wrench. Fits pretty perfectly. Now remember, when you're removing it, you got to keep your foot on the blade and you got to go counterclockwise. Okay, blades always spin clockwise, so when you remove it, you do counterclockwise. Let's see if it's loose enough for me to get this off. I'll spare you. Alright, so I removed it. Let's see if this pops off. Oh, it comes right off. It looks like it's in okay shape, actually, you know, pretty sharp. That looks like it's gonna come off. Can we get the shroud off? No, can't get the shroud off. Be right back. So I banged on this crankshaft assembly part here that holds the blade, and it just absolutely will not come off. We're talking about an old mower here. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I don't want to spend too much effort on it. So you know what? We're just gonna take a screwdriver here and just pry this off just enough so we can get the shroud off. Once we get the shroud off, we have access to the belt. There we go. Alright, so first we're gonna get this part off. Or you could just cut it. I'll get it off. So actually, when I was trying to remove it, it just broke pretty easily. So I'm matching it up here with the one that I have. Mine's obviously a lot more newer. It's looks pretty good. And as you can see here, throughout the years, it's worn out pretty much there. It's almost kind of thin. So what we're going to do is I'm going to place this back on here again. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Stick it in the hole over here. There you go. And try to slip it underneath. This shroud here really, I mean, it's making it hard for me to even see where that pulley is on the inside. So don't even know if I'll be able to catch on to it. So anyway, you stick it through here. I'm going to try to get it through here like that somehow, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just managed to get that belt in there. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but as you can see, it's around the pulley over here. Don't worry about getting this back in there again. And then here on the other side, I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I can't do it with one hand. Anyway, you get the picture, right? Move this around, get this tight, get that around that pulley. Alright, so I just put some pressure over here to loosen up this assembly here so that I could get the belt around the pulley. Looks like it's okay. Just check again, see if it's still on the pulley. And it is. Okay, I'm going to try to push this back in. I don't know how those YouTuber people do it with one hand. It's almost literally impossible. At least with a cell phone you can't. I'll get it back in. So I managed to push in the shroud back into that little gap area. Putting the blade back on, you have to remember which side that you had, and the other side had the markings of the inner crankshaft assembly there, so I knew that that was the side. Now as you're turning this, remember what I said, clockwise, it moves along with you. So this is when, you know, you got to put your foot there and kind of put a little bit of torque on it. Not crazy, but, well, I mean, if you don't want to fly off and cut your leg off. Alright, that's good. Yeah, we're going to give this a try, see if that all worked. If not, just got my hands dirty for nothing. Alright, let's see. Do we need to prime that again? Let's give it a let's try it again. I'm gonna prime it. I'll be back. So why doesn't it start? Oh yeah, duh. Oh boy, I swear. All right. Well, see that? Slipped right off. And there you have it. Put the shroud back on, and you're good to go. See you next time on another project.